Henrik Lundqvist returns after not having played since the 2nd of February. They only went 18-4-3 without him. And he's pretty good. Tuukka Rask. Check out the discrepancy between the number of wins, 7 in 14 games against the Rangers, and the .934 save percentage. It says something about the guy who's been playing at the other end of the ice almost every time. Claude Julien's Boston Bruins enter the game tied in points, but Ottawa still having a game in hand, so holding that last wild card spot. The game is on. The Rangers are a team that makes few mistakes and can find a way to score despite their defensive structure.
And one of the ways that they find ways to score, Jack, is they really try to use their speed to the outside. I mean, they're a pretty complete team in terms of generating offense, whether it's off the forecheck or off the rush. But they use the middle of that neutral zone. They like to get the puck wide because most of their speed is on the outside. Guys like Kreider and Nash who play together. Zuccarello can get up and down the ice. Hagelin's pretty quick. So with those types of guys, you have to be aware of that. Your neutral zone structure has to be strong.
And you see 6-0-1 in their last 7 road games. In fact, they've won 6 in a row. The club record is 7. They have 3 6-game road winning streaks in the last 2 seasons, and according to the Elias Sports Bureau, the last team to do that in the NHL was the pre-dynasty Edmonton Oilers in '83 and '84. So it really doesn't matter whether they're playing at home or on the road, whether they have the first change or the last change. This is a team with depth, a team with speed, a team with buy-in, and a team that has, it feels, something to prove after getting knocked off just 1 step shy of the mark.
Yeah, and they have their share of comeback wins, no doubt, and you know, situations where you have to come back from getting behind, but they generally dictate the way they want to play the game most nights.
Derek Brassard centers JT Miller and Matt Zuccarello. Mark Stahl off the skate of Miller, and it goes to the far corner. Dan Boyle, who had a goal against Ottawa as they chased Andrew Hammond and made him look human. Ottawa once again plays at Toronto tonight. Stahl up the boards. Dennis Seidenberg pursues. Brassard, the nearest Ranger to him, through the corner up to Louis Eriksson, who is the lone player on this line, along with Carl Soderberg and Riley Smith, who's been able to find the back of the net with any regularity of late. Lundqvist out of his goal. Gives to Ryan McDonough. He taps it past Nash, and it goes all the way to the Boston zone. Adam McQuaid with Chris Kreider of Boxford, Massachusetts, right on him. David Pastrnak cross ice. Milan Lucic off McDonough's skate off the corner boards, and Lundqvist knocks it to the wall. Pastrnak tries to chip it corner. Lucic uses the body against Stepan to shield the puck, turns and fires it middle. Pastrnak couldn't get any leverage as he was engaged with Lundqvist from one side. Lucic scores, batting the deflection with his leg. They will look at it. It's ruled a distinct kicking motion on the ice by referee Jean Hebert.
Now, he thought about it before he made his call because he was a little unsure by the looks of it. Lucic definitely gets it with his right skate, and it was a move to try to corral this puck, Jack. Having been in that situation before, you're just trying to knock this puck down with your right skate. It's not really a kicking motion.
Well, they're going to parse it out up in Toronto at this very moment.
Well, you're getting a good look at it. I mean, he's turning that blade, skate blade and boot, I mean, completely horizontal. And it, you know, I can see the argument where you think that it is a kicking motion, but it's a reaction to a puck on a rebound that's coming at you fast, and you can see the reaction of the stick. He's trying to kick it, or I shouldn't use that word. He's trying to corral it to get it to his, deaden it to get it to his stick blade, and it just finds its way past Lundqvist. And obviously the call on the ice, after no discussion, the call on the ice was no goal.
Does the defense get to cross-examine you for that little slip? They're trying to liberalize the interpretation, and they informed us in September in New York, the gathered media, that there was going to be a more liberal interpretation. But this is a very difficult call because Lucic clearly moves his leg in the direction of the goal.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be very precise here. You know, having been in that situation, Jack, you're not trying to kick the puck in the net, but I don't know if that's enough.
Yeah.
To get this call reversed. And what we were told in September is that net drive, where you're putting the brakes on and it goes off your skate, where you skate in that position, that they're going to count those, but I don't know if that falls into that category.
Well, in a soccer game, you see about 100 passes that are begun with a motion like that. Here's John Hebert with the ruling.
After review, there's no distinct kicking motion.
That's a goal. Lucic gets his 16th of the season.
Bergeron able to corral that puck in the corner of the ring, which you liked a lot. And he had some options. Maybe go back to that left point. Maybe spin off the boards and attack. But he went with more of a surprise shot on Lundqvist, and that's why the rebound was where it was. It's a heads-up play by Bergeron. Lundqvist hasn't played in a while. Let's get everything to the net that we possibly can in the offensive zone. And it produces a nice rebound, and the Bruins get a good call on a good net drive by Lucic. Just prior to that, it was a good play to find Pastrnak right at the top of the crease, Jack. Again, pucks and bodies to the net.
Lucic hammers Matt Hunwick, knocking him backward and off the puck. Here's David Pastrnak. Lucic fishes it out indirect. Barkowski's wrist shot whistles off the end boards. Carl Hagelin can't hack it past McQuaid. Keith Yandel up to Kevin Hayes. Cross ice looking for Carl Hagelin. Hagelin gets a taste of McQuaid's physical play. Spooner trying to dig it out along the Zamboni doors. Hayes, another Boston product, down into the corner. Jesper Fast around past Hagelin. He's got Dan Boyle back at the point. Reverses it. Fast does a 360 reverse and picks up the puck on a fancy move. But the Bruins playing the body. And there's a hand pass ruled out of the defensive zone.
Well, let's go back to the goal by Milan Lucic, where they had to go to Toronto to talk about it, whether this was a good goal or not. But it starts with a chip and chase, get the forecheck going, use the wall, protect the puck. The thought of using the point, but it wasn't there. Lucic hangs on to it. And the inside position around Dan Girardi was Pastrnak, and that keeps the play alive, allows Patrice Bergeron, fresh off the bench, to jump on that loose puck, create the rebound with a quick shot, and the Bruins get the lead.
Zach Trotman, the wrist shot through the slot, looking for a knockdown. Max Talbot on the far side against Dan Boyle. Boyle gives it away to Gregory Campbell. Trotman's wrist shot goes wide off the kick plate. Chris Kelly cycles through the corner. Talbot against Boyle. Boyle gives him a forearm shiver, knocks him off balance. Campbell slings it in front. Tanner Glass picks it off. Trotman's wrist shot goes off of James Shepard. Campbell right in front. Kelly spanks it wide on the stick side of Lundqvist. The Bruins with some attacking zone time here, more than half a minute consecutively. Campbell bringing some energy here. The puck comes off Kelly's skates, slides to Lundqvist. He steers it over to James Shepard. Shepard one-hands the puck around to Dominic Moore into the Boston zone, but Seidenberg has it.
Real nice rotation by that fourth unit. They liked using that third forward really high, Jack, to space it out a little bit in coverage in that slot area. Campbell was there, and then in the rotation, Kelly got there as well.
Ryan McDonough, the Rangers captain, backs in, gets it around Soderberg's stick. Ever reliable Dan Girardi to JT Miller, but it's off of Riley Smith's skates, and it goes in deep again. McDonough up the wall to Zuccarello, who has been on a roll. Girardi's headman pass is too far forward for Broussard. It's icing against the Rangers.
Well, Jack, we talk about the use of that third man high, and there it is, Gregory Campbell right in between the 2D. And we talk about rotation in the offensive zone. You're in good position if your defense want to pinch down. You're in good position if you get puck possession. And now here's that cycling game. Kelly's going to go back down the wall to Talbot. Second man goes Campbell. He was the guy out between the two defensemen, and now it's Kelly. Kelly forces another turnover in the offensive zone. It's a great rotation with a good third man.
Girardi up the board. Zuccarello pulls it off the wall, gets it back from Soderberg, and the puck flicks up over the dasher in front of the Rangers bench and out of play. Kevin Hayes flips it over the high glass for a souvenir.
Why not?
Yep. In the Bob Sweeney tradition.
Back in town.
Yeah. You wonder if Kevin Hayes ever got one of those souvenirs from Swoop. You know, Bob Sweeney always took a stack of pucks at the end of the pregame skate and threw them over the glass. And
well, the biggest legend played for the Rangers himself, and that was Nicky Fotiu.
Yeah, there you go. Stahl to Boyle. Rick Nash, a dart cross ice looking for Chris Kreider. Rask to Chara, up to David Krejci. It comes off his forehand. He bumps into Mark Stahl. There's Bergeron with a defensive layer, but Stepan steals the shot and a save by Rask. Stepan fires it right back through the goal mouth. Krejci has it up to the line. Stahl tries to get it deep. Bergeron blocks it, and it trickles and wiggles all the way to Boyle near his goal line. Marchand all over Boyle. Krejci to Marchand. The shot blocker saved by Lundqvist. Boyle strokes it forward. Torrey Krug accelerates away from traffic, gets it to Bergeron, indirect, looking for the tip from Marchand in front, and Hunwick wipes him out with good contact in front of the Rangers' goal. This is off the back of Hayes. He picks it up. Kevin Hayes fakes, gives it low. The pass out to Hagelin. He bunts it forward. Foss tries to flip the beanbag in front. Now carries to the right wing. Gives back to Hunwick. He saves it on the line. The wrist shot off Hagelin. He knocks it down. Seidenberg without a stick as it broke about 4 inches down from the top of the stick. Spooner twists it out of the zone. Pastrnak backs across the red line and gets it out, and the Bruins dodge a bullet with Seidenberg without a stick.
Yeah, pretty good shift by the Rangers, and Kevin Hayes went after the puck, hit him in the back of the leg in the neutral zone, kept the play alive, faked a real good shot, then made a nice pass to the right wing. That could get things rolling in the offensive zone against the Spooner line.
4 years at Boston College, finishing up just last spring. Girardi through Brassard's skates. McQuaid stretches the strides. Rask steers the puck to Bartkowski's corner. Bartkowski off Zuccarello's stick. Eriksson tries to wedge inside, but the puck squirts free. Girardi off the boards, does not connect. Now it's McDonough deep in his own zone. Girardi chops it out far side. Zuccarello carries with Soderberg. Soderberg in front. Eriksson couldn't get off the one-timer. Brassard taps it back. JT Miller works Trotman's side of the ice. Throws it deep. Trotman kicks the puck along to Zdeno Chara. Chara away from Dominic Moore. Eriksson, Chara. Now Trotman takes it around Rask's neck. He feeds it out to Talbot. Talbot knew the hit from Tanner Glass was coming as he heard it, felt it, and then saw it. Torrey Krug holds to the blue line. The snapshot, double deflection. Talbot on the doorstep, and Lundqvist shuts the door. Yandel kicks to the stick, gives it forward. Dominic Moore off the boards. Tanner Glass barrels into the end wall. Glass had a goal against Ottawa. Now here's Hunwick. Hunwick far side. Kelly stacks him up. Gregory Campbell takes it away. Glass knocks it out of the air, but it dies for Seidenberg. Dennis Seidenberg head to David Krejci. Yandel stacks up Krejci. Good tandem defense as Hunwick takes the puck away.
Yeah, you go back to that chance for Eriksson right in the slot area. It's a good forecheck by Soderberg. Created the turnover, made the right pass. It was just in by the right skate.
McQuaid to Krejci to Bergeron to Krejci, and a stick saved by Lundqvist, steering the rebound to safe territory in the corner. Adam McQuaid backs in, draws Kreider, gives it out to center. Derek Stepan rings it around. McQuaid draws Hayes' attention, has to swivel it, doesn't get much on it. Hagelin, very quick, was one step away from taking a lateral pass in on Tuukka Rask. The Bruins ice it. Key matchup brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda.
Rick Nash is having a special year again. This is a guy that's really come on. He's developed, he's matured, he understands the game, he can play just about any situation. He's got 39 on the year, just one away from 40 again this season, and can play either wing, can make plays, can beat you one-on-one. He's one of the best wingers in the National Hockey League.
You know, you hear a lot of 17 and 18-year-old kids in their draft profile saying, player you model yourself after, Rick Nash. Well, you know, it's good to aim high. Forget about it. It's doubtful we're going to see a player with the combination of speed, range, tenacity, and 200-foot ability as Rick Nash in the next few years, if even in this generation. An amazing combination of talents. Seidenberg has to cowboy back up on the dasher. The Bruins almost get caught with too many men on the ice. Chara off the boards. It rattles off Marchand's legs. Now Bergeron finishes the clear, and the Bruins begin to get a man-by-man change. Soderberg on the ice first. McDonough's low shot, an easy glove stop for Rask. The Bruins are on top 1-0. Milan Lucic with his 16th of the year from Bergeron and Pastrnak at 1:41 off the skate and in. Served as Rangers captain between Mark Messier and Chris Drury. Visit NESN.com/TheFours for the answer and enter to win a $50 gift certificate that can be used at the Fours Restaurant and Sports Bar in Boston, Quincy, or Norway. Ryan McDonagh with the honor of wearing the C. Now for the Rangers. Hagelin gives Krug a bump. Seidenberg carries up and out. Off the boards past Lucic. Scoreboard watching. Nashville has a 3-0 lead on the Washington Caps, who are in the top of the two wild card spots. Ryan Spooner swiveling a forehand on Lundqvist. He punches it to the wall. Lundqvist as good as anyone at using that blocker to direct the rebound. And we've often seen him start Rangers transition hockey directly off a save. Spooner feeds it forward. Krug to Lucic. The shot scores! 2 for Lucic, and the Bruins lead 2-0.
Bruins talked about being better 5-on-5. Everything to the net against Lundqvist. He hasn't been in goal for quite some time, but it all starts with a breakout. The Spooner line. If there's a criticism against these kids and their kids is can they play in their own zone? Well, what a great shift, and it started with the breakout. Spooner comes down nice and deep like a good centerman should, particularly in this system. And he's able to work that puck up the wall to Pastrnak. Pastrnak knows the contact's coming, but he's got to make a play. He just chips it back into the middle, and the speed of Spooner picks it right up. And speaking of speed, the weak side defenseman, Torrey Krug, in full flight, recognizing that that play is available most nights. When you work the puck up on the strong side, that weak side defenseman, if he comes with timing and makes himself available, you'll create numbers. And he made a perfect backhand pass to Lucic in stride, allowed Lucic to skate right in it and attack with speed, and a beautiful finish.
So after 1 goal in his previous 11 games, 2 goals from Milan Lucic in the first half of the first period against Henrik Lundqvist and the Rangers.
Can't emphasize it enough, Jack. I mean, that's a 200-foot goal. It's great work in the defensive zone on the breakout. You like to see the improvements on the kids. Just lay that puck into space, but it's Krug that jumps into the play. And it's not even really numbers when you think about it. It's not a 3-on-2. It's not a 4-on-3. The Rangers should have enough bodies back, but the Bruins move the puck at the precise time with accuracy and speed. And then Lucic with a great quick release in stride finish. Doesn't allow Lundqvist really to set himself.
Kreider gains the red line, tosses it into Chara's corner. Chara taps the backhand over to Trotman. He sees step on ahead, but Bergeron coming deep to make himself available. Krejci crisscrosses, takes the middle of the line, can't complete the stick handling movement. McDonagh in his face, but then he steals from Girardi. Marchand has the puck pop up. Girardi in the middle of the 3-on-3 up ice. Rams it in deep. Chara on the far side. Step on. Kreider rather. A couple of Crowders played for the Bruins back in the 80s.
Keith and Bruce.
Chris Kreider flings it cross ice. McDonagh has trouble with a hot bounce. Nash, a nifty feed toward the front. But the Bruins with layers again. Bergeron right in the area. Chara's pass out of the defensive zone doesn't connect. It's icing against Boston.
Jack, we talk about the Bruins and their ability to manage the puck coming out of their own zone. We just saw the Lucic goal because of good breakout. It doesn't have to be perfect, but this is pretty much close to perfect. Trotman has the puck. Can I go up the wall? What's my options? If your centerman's in position, and in this case it is, it's Patrice Bergeron. Tape to tape, use the middle of the ice. Now you walk out of your zone. You got all kinds of options in the neutral zone as a result. Nice play by Trotman.
Krejci can't get the puck past Dan Boyle. Brassard fishes at it. Trotman caves him in. Trotman up the wall. Boyle pulls it off the boards. Now it goes cross ice, stalls one-timer off of Marchand's stick. JT Miller out of the corner, turns at the hash mark, cycles it now. Brassard gives to Zuccarello, so quick. Zuccarello hits the brakes, looks for Stahl in front, closes, cross ice, Chara gets it, rattles free, Miller with a diving attempt, and Rask makes a save. Boyle dangerous in the middle of the line. Here's Stahl at the left point, the drive, loose in the crease, and Rask finds it first. Rangers bringing some energy on the shift. Matt Zuccarello's quickness and Mark Stahl all over the attacking zone. But the story right now is 2 for Lucic and a 2-0 Boston lead. The Amica Coverage Cam presented by Amica Insurance, now with new lower auto insurance rates from Massachusetts drivers.
So much I like about this goal, and it's really all about Torrey Krug, who's going to jump into play. This is here. He's already thinking offense, and when he does, you got good things happen. Allows Lucic to get in this lane, allows Krug to fill here. Spooner jumps in here to give an outlet for Pastrnak, and now the Bruins are filling lanes with speed through the neutral zone. That's an impressive goal, Jack. Young guys, speed, quickness, execution, accuracy. And Lucic with his feet moving this afternoon. So much so that he kicked one in, didn't he?
That's what Rangers fans say.
You're not kidding.
Krug now with 4 points in his last 5 games, including this afternoon on a goal and 3 assists. And Spooner and Pastrnak continue to contribute. Spooner with 13 points in 15 games, including this afternoon, 6 goals and 7 assists. Pastrnak with 15 points in his last 20 games, 4 goals and 11 assists. Riley Smith a little wiggle. Kreider puts the body on him. Girardi takes the puck away, but Seidenberg gets his skates in the way of the dump in. McQuaid bounces the puck past the red line. McDonough takes it away from Eriksson. You can see elevated energy from the Rangers, determined to get back in this one. 3 times this season the Bruins have led by 2 and ended up on the wrong side of the final score.
Yeah, that last shift by the Rangers where they spent time in the offensive zone was a result of the Bruins kind of getting lost in coverage man on man, and allowed for an open space from the tops of the circles in, and the Bruins had to stack it up in front of Rask.
Alain Vigneault's team is unbelievably impressive. You know, we track a lot of goal sensitivity stats and leading or trailing, and there are 24 such markers. The Rangers are first or second in the league in 13 of those things that we track every single game day. It's been a while since we've seen a team that dominant, and it speaks to the 200-foot game. But the Bruins have gotten an early break, and they've made some of their own. Here's Pastrnak on a tour of the attacking zone, slings it low to the rotating Krug. Lucic fishes it free and knocks it through James Sheppard to the end boards. Pastrnak runs into the post en route to the puck. Dan Boyle with a nice pivot. Spooner tugging away at him. Boyle off the end boards. Mark Stahl has a little space, brings it up through Pastrnak to Tanner Glass. Dominic Moore stretches the stride to stay onside. Sheppard on the far side chips it through for Hunwick. He knocks it down the slot. Seidenberg has body position, loses his bottom glove in a confrontation with Moore. And Seidenberg will skate off as Krug slings it in deep.
Yeah, I took a close look at Moore to see if he was going to try to chop down on the free hand.
Talbot's bomb off a giveaway, and Lundqvist comes off his line to make the save.
Bruins again with this 4th line doing a nice job in the offensive zone. They had a good cycle shift earlier in the period, and now it's on the forecheck. I mean, that's just a bad decision. Not sure if they ever saw Talbot coming in as that second man, not even the 3rd man in this situation. Not a good pass from behind the net by Yandel. Yandel tried to make not a blind pass, but a backhand pass in the middle of his defensive zone.
Bartkowski slings one into Lundqvist, and he squeezes the knees, looks behind him and makes sure the puck hasn't trickled across the line.
Everything to the net, pucks to the net. You can see the rust on Lundqvist's game, even a simple little wrist shot. I don't think that changed direction, did you, Jack?
No, I thought it went in clean.
But I mean, right off the faceoff, good faceoff win, a little traffic in front of him, but it looks like he gets a good look at it and just doesn't direct the puck into the corner of the rink, which is what he looked like he wanted to do.
Bartkowski wraps it around the boards. Chris Kelly slows the puck down with Girardi chasing him all the way to the hash marks. Foss gives to Hagelin. Tries to swim around McQuaid. Sort of like going across the English Channel. It's long distance. Hagelin protecting the puck, slings it to the forehand, gets it into the slot. McDonough fakes the shot, goes cross ice. Girardi, high slot tip by Foss. It's a blooper to the corner. Hagelin gets the body on Kelly to win the puck. Kelly wins it right back. A little help from Bartkowski. Now fast on the forecheck on the end wall. The Rangers really showing some speed and tenacity on the forecheck. And the Bruins finally get it out of their own zone, although it's off Campbell's glove. Next touched by Talbot in the center zone. It's a hand pass.
EchoStore Technologies, a leading information technology provider of enterprise storage, virtualization, and data storage solutions and services. Visit EchoStore.com for more information. EchoStore Technologies, your data center solutions provider.
As talented as the Rangers are, they would like Brassard, Nash, and Hagelin to get out of their funks right now. Brassard with just 1 goal and 1 assist for 2 points in his last 8 games. Nash with no goals in his last 8 and 2 assists. Hagelin has a couple of goals and an assist in his last 12, but is capable of being offensively explosive as well as a nuisance with his speed all over the ice. Hunwick fires wide. Brassard tries to go short side, but Rask holds the post. Brassard gets to Zuccarello, the dart cross ice. Yandel's shot saved by Rask, and it pinballs around all the way to the blue line, but not out. Seidenberg against Brassard down in the corner. JT Miller trying to pull it away from there. Bergeron clamps down on Miller, and Seidenberg has a little space, trickles it through Eriksson to center. Hunwick's right on it. The Rangers keep possession. Soderberg steals from Hunwick, walks in and scores! Carl Soderberg makes it 3-0 for Boston. For Soderberg, just his second goal in 29 games.
Well, if you were concerned with a negative impact as far as the emotions of the Boston Bruins after that overtime loss to Anaheim, what a pretty good response by Boston here in the opening 15 minutes of this hockey game. Their 3rd goal of the period. Soderberg with the steal, the good pressure on Hunwick. We mentioned Soderberg had a good steal earlier in the period when he tried to set up Eriksson wide open in the slot. Well, he makes a steal at the offensive blue line, explodes into space, and makes a nice finishing move on Lundqvist. Little pump fake, stay to the forehand with good leverage.
Marchand to Krejci. Smith driving the net. Marchand can't complete the forehand to backhand move. Zdeno Chara finds the puck in his skates and hammers it forward. David Krejci swivels to Smith. Back to Krejci. Stahl drops the shoulder and gets position on Krejci, and then gets possession of the puck. Rick Nash twirls it out to center. Chara. Stepan takes it away, fires it off. Trotman's stick up and out of play. If you had the Bruins 3-0 up after 15 minutes, you better go play the lottery. We'll see you after the break.
Scoreboard watching is certainly in full effect for the Bruins and the Bruins fan base right now. One of those teams the Bees are chasing, playing right now against the Nashville Predators. Of course, the Bees chasing the Caps. They are 5 points behind them. The big one everybody's got their eye on tonight takes place in Toronto. It's the Senators and the Leafs. Of course, the Bees tied with the Sens right now at 85 points in the standing. And let's not count out Florida Panthers. 3 points behind the Bruins right now. They are in Montreal to take on the Habs. So, Jack, I think it's safe to assume that your eyes will be glued to a television tonight when we fly into Raleigh, right?
I need spray glue maybe, but they'll be glued. This puck comes up and out of play. Yeah, you remember Matt Hunwick, don't you? Hunwick, an unfortunate connection to Bruins history is in that it was his rattling hit on Mark Savardin. 2 consecutive pucks come out of play. His rattling hit on Mark Savard that looked like kind of a routine play that resulted in
it was routine. It was routine.
Concussion from which Savard never returned, never recovered, and a very sad moment in Bruins history as Savard was one of the more creative players ever to man the power play for Boston and became a really solid 3-zone player under Claude Julien. Hunwick gets a 3rd drive in a row deflected. Hunwick parts of 4 seasons with the Bruins and then ended up playing for Colorado at the time that his path crossed with Savard. Keith Yandle wraps it around. Rask out of his goal to stop the puck, flings it to the corner. Dominic Moore shields the puck from Chris Kelly, but Kelly gets the hip on him. Campbell keeps the puck moving, although he stumbles through the hit. More in a one-man washing machine trying to cycle it down there. McQuaid takes the bump from James Shepard, and the Zamboni doors sway. Brassard gets possession back for the Rangers. New York has had a lot of the puck since Lucic's game-opening goal, but the Bruins have done a decent job of keeping the Rangers more on the perimeter than in the slot. Krug off the boards, gives it away. JT Miller off a stick, and again up out of play with 3:41 now remaining in the first.
Catch the latest behind-the-scenes Bruins action as the season continues on episode 12 of Behind the B, presented by Alex and Ani, tomorrow night at 8 right here on NESN. Missed any of the previous episodes? Stream them online by visiting bostonbruins.com/behindtheb or the Bruins mobile app.
Brassard controls the face-off to Zuccarello. It's off of Krug's skates. Zuccarello gets it right back, brings it to Girardi at the point. Eriksson blocks the dump-in attempt. Zuccarello through his own zone. Goes behind McDonough. Soderberg, the front man on the forecheck. Here comes Riley Smith. McDonough shields the puck, cuts the goal, but Soderberg taps it away to the corner. Pulls it away from Girardi's reach. Girardi with a poke check to get it loose. Soderberg stays with it. Girardi kicks it, and Soderberg sends it deep. Smith on the pivot. It bounces over Brassard's stick. Soderberg can't get much on the backhand. Girardi steals, goes across his own zone to Miller off his skates. Krug headmans the puck to Eriksson. The Bruins in the middle of a change, and Eriksson gets an attacking zone face-off out of it with less than 3 to go in the first.
Nice little quick up by Torrey Krug in the neutral zone right there. And even though you don't have numbers, you know, Eriksson takes that pass by himself. The Bruins are trying to change out the forward lines, but rather than take that puck back, and at this point in the period, keep it moving forward. Quick up to Eriksson, shot on goal, offensive zone draw.
Boyle around the corner, Stahl into the middle of his own zone. Stepan flips the backhand center circle. It's off Kreider's skate. Marchand takes the hit and the bump, and he can't get the puck deep. Here's Rick Nash on the off wing. Kreider going middle. Nash a shot with purpose, but Rask steers it over the high glass in the corner. Claude Julien able to roll 4.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. You know, you're playing 3 and 4. You got the Carolina early game tomorrow, 5 o'clock, and just wanted to clip this shift by the 4th line. I mean, there's nothing going on here, Jack, in terms of really great highlights to show you. The Bruins aren't in the offensive zone, but what are they doing? It's all battles. It's along the wall. It's in the corners. It's 2-on-2s. It's 3-on-3s. It's 1-on-1s. You do whatever it takes to protect the house, work the puck into the neutral zone, get some fresh bodies on the ice.
Stahl throws it in front. Fost keeps it loose. Rask somehow makes a save on Fost, who gazes at the rafters and the Spoke B banners hanging from them.
This is a result of Marchand just not getting the puck in the offensive zone on the previous shift. He tried to make a little chip pass 10 feet outside the offensive blue line. What happens? You turn the puck over. Nash comes down the off wing, takes a pretty good shot. That Rask makes a save. It goes up into the screen. Now you got a defensive zone face-off. You win a draw. You put pressure on. You know, this is how you defend, by getting pucks deep late in the period when you're up 3-0. You don't need another one before this period ends, but don't give the Rangers life.
And the Rangers very nearly got it there. Kevin Hayes reverses down to the corner. Fost gives it middle of the line. Stahl's blast through Rask's pads, and it squibs to the corner. Lucic leaves it along the goal line. Hagelin using his speed there. Now here's Fost on the backhand, turns forehand in the one-man cycle. Bergeron spins him around. Fost nifty with the puck, goes indirect. Hagelin bumps into Barkowski, and McQuaid is right there in good tandem defense. The Rangers getting some attacking zone time, but the Bruins keeping them mostly in the corner. Lucic flips the puck to the corner and goes over. Stepan's like the crowd begging for a call, but incidental there. Lucic takes it out on Stahl on the far side. Stepan weaves behind. Kreider gives off to Hunwick. The blast, and Rask makes the save with $1.50 to go in the first, and Trotman announces his presence to Mark Stahl. Now Chara comes in with a nasty look on his face. And the drop will be in the Boston zone. The Rangers looking for an answer before the first period siren.
Well, it's a funny looking save off the drive by Hunwick. That's one of those saves where Rask is trying to use the blade of the goal stick and deflect it into the corner of the rink. It kind of gets under the stick and lodged in the pad, and a little exchange between Char and Stahl. And once there's a bunch of bodies come in there, Stahl wants to get back at Char and kind of reaches around the linesman to throw a right cross. So things are picking up.
Well, I believe Stahl was taking umbrage to getting a good pop in the chin from Chara.
Well, that's what I mean. Good response by him.
Yeah. Well, some games
just don't hit the linesman, whatever you do.
Some games that's a roughing penalty, and some games it's not. You know, when Chara takes a pop that's above shoulder height. Yandle does a good job shielding from Marchand. Nash. Backhand over to Hunwick to step on the quick release right into the logo on Tuukka Rask's chest.
Vote for the Amica Coverage Play of the Week and enter to win a $100 gift certificate to the Pro Shop here at TD Garden, courtesy of NESN. Enter now at NESN.com/Amica Coverage Cam.
Bruins playing their final of 11 matinees this season. They're 6-1-3 playing games that begin before 4 p.m. local time. And they're playing the 15th and final game in their Men in Black third uniform systems. They're 8-2-4 wearing the alternates. Girardi gives it over to McDonough. He fakes the shot, takes the shot, and again Rask has a clean view of it. But the Rangers starting to find an attacking rhythm, and you know, Bruins fans, not that they're pessimistic these days, but probably a lot of them remember the early second period 3-0 lead against the Calgary Flames. And Calgary, an extraordinarily determined team, was able to come all the way back and win that one on the crazy bounce off the roof of the net in overtime.
And if memory serves me, the Bruins had a power play chance at 3-0.
Yes, they did. Here's Talbot 2-on-1 with Campbell. Talbot's shot. A block by McDonough, and it goes to the end boards. Final minute of the first period. Rangers have 7 shots on goal to 1 for the Bruins since Carl Soderberg's steal and score that made it 3-0. So the Rangers have had a response, but have no success on the scoreboard yet. Campbell blocks McDonough's attempt to get the puck up and out of his zone. Seidenberg controls in the neutral zone.
Yeah, the Rangers have turned the puck over in their own zone. A little bit of pressure, and with a lot of pressure, they've turned it over. That's why I go back to that Marchand play. Don't look to make plays at this time in the period at center ice. Get it deep. You'll force some turnovers.
Girardi to Brassard past the red line, tumbling muffin all the way to Rask, and he has it in the trapper with about 16 seconds to go.
2-on-1. Bruins looking to extend a 3-0 lead. Talbot's going to come in off that offside. He's looking at his options. He's trying to improve his angle as he moves a little bit more central. Tries to get that shot away. It's well defended by McDonough. He stays in the passing lane. He stays big, and then when he reads shot, he gets his stick in the way. And Lundqvist did not have to make a save in that situation.
Adam McQuaid to Zdeno Chara up the middle for Bergeron. Taps over to Soderberg in the final 10 seconds of the period. Bergeron and Boyle on the end boards. Louis Eriksson the wraparound, and Lundqvist has to make one more save. Zuccarello finishes his check on Bergeron, and Bergeron comes over and tries to speak Norwegian, or maybe he just uses the universal language.
Remember, they're all bilingual.
As Gordie Howe said, English and Bulgarian.
But another quality breakout by Boston. They win the draw in the defensive zone. McQuaid walks around the net, and he's trying to sell that pass up the right wing boards as Eriksson explodes out into the neutral zone, and he uses his partner Char right in front of the net, wide open. And then Bergeron gets open, wide open in the neutral zone on a quick pass up the middle of the ice. A lot of good breakouts by Boston here in the opening period.
Bruins looking for a clean face-off win and a quick shot with 1.5 seconds to go in the period. Dominic Moore, excellent face-off man for the Rangers. He'll just try to keep Campbell from winning it cleanly, but he does. Bergeron just wide, and Eriksson can't tuck it past Lundqvist. As the siren sounds, the Bruins had a disappointing overtime loss on Thursday night, and they hear cheers as they go down the tunnel after the first period Saturday afternoon.
Well, you can count on one hand the number of shifts that weren't great for Boston in that first period. They did give up 14 shots. The Rangers had a push from minutes, and hey, the Rangers are a real good team. They're not the same type of team they were a year ago, and you know, we talked about the guys that are having a hard time finding the net right now, but they're a far more offensive team this year than they were last year. Last year they were 4th best defensive team, 3rd best penalty killing. Goaltending was strong, and it was kind of like a balanced offense. But this year they have more weapons, they have more guys that can score, and they're a better team all the way around. So, yeah, I don't expect that to be a shutout, and that's no knock on Tuukka Rask or the Bruins, but this team has the ability to score goals. They got a ton of talent. They got a little embarrassed at times in that first period. Anytime you're down 3-0, that's not just the luck of the draw. I mean, you got beat.
Yeah.
So expect a good push from the Rangers, and if you're the Bruins, be prepared for it.
And you saw Chris Kreider there. He's got 6 points in his last 8 games. Derek Stepan has a 3-game scoring streak going. You saw him just a bit earlier. Stepan with 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points in his last 3 consecutive games. And Tuukka Rask unexpectedly going down the tunnel here. And Don Del Negro, the Bruins head trainer, following him down the tunnel. So a great cause for concern for Boston followers. Nicholas Svedberg is warming up in a hurry, and he will come out and play.
Well, I'm not sure if this is one of those situations where Tuukka Rask needs to get in the locker room and take care of something and then expect to come back and play in this game again, or if it was something that might have happened in the first period of play that was undetected, because we're only 10 seconds into period number 2, and nothing happened in the 10 seconds that we saw that would cause him to have any kind of injury, let's say. Little discussion with the referee, and then I got to make my way to the Bruins locker room. So Svedberg will take his place, certainly for the time being.
Now, what are the protocols here, Brick? How long does Svedberg have to warm up? You know, we're all familiar with the
until the ref says, "Hey, let's go."
We're all familiar with the if a pitcher in baseball suddenly gets injured, you allot adequate time for the new pitcher to warm up. But in hockey, there is no official warm-up period. Svedberg's right in there, and you can believe that the Rangers, who are chomping at the bit to get on the board, are going to fire as much rubber at Svedberg as they possibly can. Zdeno Chara cross ice. David Krejci hops over the line, works against Mark Stahl, takes the self pass off the boards. McQuaid's shot tipped, double deflection. Lundqvist makes the save, staying low and right at the edge of his crease. Stepan off the boards to Rick Nash, pivots the backhand. It comes off a stick. Stepan Bergeron. Bergeron puts a hip into him. Stepan guides the puck to Stahl. Kreider can't get it through Krejci, who makes the steal. Krejci ahead to Carl Soderberg. Soderberg fans on the cross ice pass, gets twisted up with Nash, who takes a swing at him on the way
hook
toward the bench. And looks as if we're going to have our first power play of the afternoon.
Well, it was a nice play by David Krejci on the back check, and he just kind of slows down, sort things out. Soderberg comes on the ice for Bergeron. He makes a nice little saucer pass in the middle. Soderberg fans on his pass. He's trying to go across the rink to the defenseman jumping up on the play. Nash lifts the stick, but he lifts it too much and hangs on too long into the hands and glove area. Stick area, shaft of the stick on Soderberg, and he goes. Power play stats are brought to you by Echo Store Technology.
Torrey Krug to Patrice Bergeron, swills it off of Hagelin's stick. The clearing attempt comes right past Spooner. Krejci turns the blade to give it to Krug. Back to Krejci. Good puck movement. Spooner's one-timer saved by Lundqvist. Eriksson trying to control the rebound, and it bounces to the end wall. McDonough all over Eriksson, and now Hagelin comes down to the corner against Spooner. In this situation, the Rangers, shorthanded, would love to have Nash out there because he's got 4 shorthanded goals. Bergeron's one-timer off Krejci's feed, and Lundqvist getting square to the shot. Attacking zone time mounting. The long change in the second period. The Bruins trying to tire out the Rangers' penalty killers and take advantage. Krejci cross ice to Krug. Krug's shot. Hagelin makes the block and spanks it the length of the rink.
Pretty good battles, though, by the Bruins to get that puck back. Hagelin had a chance to pivot himself, maybe clear the zone. He went back behind the net. That was a mistake. Nice trip pass by Louis Eriksson. Krug stayed deep to battle for pucks.
This is strength against strength. The Bruins on a very hot power play streak. Meanwhile, the Rangers have killed 17 out of 18 shorthanded situations in their last 7 games. Fast moves away from Lucic's impending check. Chara gives to Smith a lot of room. He closes, the shot goes off the bar and all the way around the corner to Chara. The Bruins had time to set up the screen. Smith picked his corner and only missed it by a couple inches. Chara back to Smith. Gives to the circle to Marchand. And Chara, the one-timer, didn't get much on it. Soderberg can't shovel it past Lundqvist. Fast clears to the neutral zone. Smith with the start stopped. Soderberg swoops onto the puck, moves against Stahl. Cross ice just past Marchand's reach. Marchand wiggles around. Fast goes indirect off the boards to Lucic. Lucic to Marchand. He closes cross ice. It's past Smith's reach. Smith holds as Stahl closes ground. Soderberg to Marchand. The shot deflects off Fast's stick off the end boards. Boyle scoops it out. 3 shots on goal for Boston during the power play.
Yeah, that second unit did a terrific job of moving the puck quickly to the points in order to get the defending team, the Rangers and the penalty killing to have to move. They got a couple of good shots. That one time by Chara, just a little misfire.
Campbell off of Glass's skates. Kelly with the steal away from Boyle in front. Campbell saved by Lundqvist. Robbing Gregory Campbell with the glove. Boyle tosses toward the point. Bartkowski can't keep it in the attacking zone. Kelly pours right back in there. Shovels toward Talbot. Boyle makes the play. Stahl controls and has a little bit of space. Off the wall through Kevin Hayes' legs. He one-hands it ahead to Glass. Glass moving on Seidenberg's side. Back to Hayes. Back to Glass on the end board. Seidenberg tries to staple him in. Glass pries for some space. Hayes controls at the edge of his reach, turns it off the board. Zuccarello wheels it back to Yandel, wiggles off the boards. Zuccarello's shot saved by Svedberg. Hayes battles Talbot all the way to the corner. Zuccarello in front. Miller gives it back to Hunwick, back to JT Miller. Cross ice off Campbell's blade. Yandel tosses the puck forward to Zuccarello. Zuccarello wheels it past Yandel off the corner boards. Seidenberg caves in Miller, who gets right back onto his skates. Kelly gets a piece of the pass intended for Hunwick. Gregory Campbell finishes the clear. Hunwick ahead to the neutral zone. Talbot waits and then hoists it over everything, and that'll drop off the protective netting after going out of play.
A special welcome to Girls Inc. of New Hampshire, who traveled down to see their first game at TD Garden. Girls Inc. inspires all girls to be strong, smart, and bold. More information can be found at girlsincnewhampshire.org.
In a second period in which we've already seen some unusual stuff from goaltenders, Nicholas Svedberg goes and gets a new stick after his shattered just about 4 or 5 inches north of where the paddle turns into the handle. Trotman off the boards. Krejci can't pick it up. McDonough slings it off the end wall. Girardi taps it indirect back to McDonough. Nash on the off wing, closes the shot, saved by Svedberg, and he dumps the rebound out between the knees.
There's that speed to the outside that they like. They try to find Kreider in the first period. The puck exploded away from him. This time Nash takes a nice pass from the defensive zone. Quick pass D up to the left wing, and then work that puck wide through center ice with speed. First challenging shot against Svedberg in relief of Rask. Handled it well.
Rask still has not reappeared at the end of the Boston bench. Marchand sweeps the puck over to David Krejci, playing the right wing position. Just the second game since his return from a partial tear of a medial collateral ligament in his left knee. Bergeron dives to try to whack it around Girardi, but Girardi, who is Mr. Reliable for the Rangers, keeps him from getting the shot on goal. Chris Kreider over the line. Nash goes cross ice for step on the shot. Here's Nash on the rebound. Chara blocks it as Nash had an open side. Step on back to McDonough. The one-timer goes wide stick side. Svedberg does a 360 in his crease with the puck coming off the end boards.
Looked like Kreider might have got a piece of that quick shot from the point.
Erickson swivels it middle. McDonough ahead to Zuccarello. The pirouette pass. JT Miller works McQuaid all the way to the corner. Miller the self pass. McQuaid plays the body. Smith plays the puck. Makes the self pass off the boards around Zuccarello. Taps it past Broussard. Here comes Krug. Erickson in the middle. The tap from Soderberg to Erickson. Lundqvist. And Smith finishes it off. Riley Smith scores for Boston. Just his 3rd goal in 25 games. A couple of Bruins get off the schneid and blow the lead up to 4-0.
Turning defense into offense. JT Miller is going to challenge Adam McQuaid. McQuaid defends perfectly, forces him outside the dot, plants him against the wall. Nice play by Riley Smith. He's there for support. The layers defensively. Self-pass coming out of his own zone, and even though he can't get separation, it's Krug again that's activating. So involved in the Bruins offense right now. His skating game is there, and now you get entry into the zone, and the guy that came deep, that 200-foot game, Riley Smith, in support of McQuaid, is the guy that picks up that loose puck as the third or fourth man in this instance after the chance in front. Soderberg, Eriksson going to the net. Eriksson has to take it off his skate, but then the Rangers are in panic mode, and all of a sudden there's Riley Smith.
3-on-2 up ice. Spooner holds, gives the Pastrnak for Lucic on the doorstep. Lucic gets upended. Now Kevin Hayes in front of the Zamboni doors. You know, Zamboni's, it's like Xerox, right? You know, I know the Bruins use Olympia ice makers now, but they're still the Zamboni doors.
No, they're going to tell me to spell Zamboni with an X.
It's the alternate spelling and not legal in Scrabble games. McQuaid slaps it ahead. Pastrnak has speed to the puck, looking for Campbell. Lundqvist accelerates it across the front. Yandel gives to Hunwick. Shepard to Yandel. Off the boards at the red line. Hunwick, the defenseman, all the way to the left wing corner. McQuaid hammers him there. Centering pass, nobody's home. Talbot doesn't get much on it. Tenacity from Hunwick to make the Bruins fight it out of the defensive zone. McQuaid forward for Kelly. That's a touch from behind the red line. Icing hand was up originally, but Lundqvist plays it, and now we get a puck played with a high stick by the Bruins. Don Del Negro, Bruins head trainer, just had a word with Claude Julien. We haven't seen Tuukka Rask reappear yet.
Apply, text HELP for info, and visit NESN.com/terms for terms and conditions and privacy policy. Looks like the Rangers running away with that one. Jack and Brick, what do you guys think?
Well, we'll catch up to it in a minute. The Rangers going to work in the attacking zone. They absolutely have to get the next one to make this a hockey game. Nash peels off the boards, kicks to the stick, but there's too much traffic. McDonough backpedals out of the slot, gets the shot through traffic. Svedberg was in position but didn't move as the puck came toward the goal. Step on off of Chara's stick. Chara's been as effective as we've seen him since the PCL tear in the last game and a half. Krejci cuts across the defensive blue line, ahead to Marchand, all the way in, and a leg save by Lundqvist, dragging the right pad.
Pass of the year.
Marchand taking Bergeron's pass. The rocket from Bartkowski rings the bell to the glove side of Lundqvist. Bergeron pries it back to Seidenberg, fires it cross-eyed. Krejci drags it on the toe of the blade. McDonough gives him a good hit, and the puck comes loose. Stepan skies it through the neutral zone. You love that fly pattern over the top, don't you, Britt?
Love the creativity when it's delivered perfectly in stride right into that left glove of Marchand. I mean, you couldn't draw it up anybody. That creativity with execution, unbelievably impressive.
Low hand, right? Threw it over the correct shoulder. JT Miller in the left wing corner. Soderberg gives him a bump. Louis Eriksson to Soderberg. He strides out, gets to the red line, off the boards. Riley Smith speeds to the corner, turns on Hunwick, looks for a gap, rattles it off a couple of legs. Krug fires the low angle shot around JT Miller. Now Miller's pass off a teammate comes center. Yandel taps ahead to Miller. Derek Brassard going to the corner against McQuaid. McQuaid pins the puck to the wall. Miller scrapes it out of McQuaid's skates, zings it back toward Hunwick, but he can't play it cleanly off the backhand. Comes all the way back to Lundqvist.
Now, there's a bit of a decision perhaps that's coming for the Boston Bruins. If Rask is okay, he makes his way back to the Bruin bench at 4-0. Does he go back in?
Krug stands up. Hagelin. McQuaid can't clear the puck. Stahl sends it back around. Kevin Hayes on the end boards using the huge reach. Bounces it high slot. And the Bruins have a 3-on-2 up ice. Lucic filling in the middle for Spooner against Dan Boyle. He goes cross corner. Pastrnak there with Jesper Fast right on his back. Lucic kicks to the stick. Spooner there in close support, but Mark Stahl makes the play to get it out to the neutral zone. Kevin Hayes twists the puck to Foss. Back to Hayes to the trailer. Boyle, a shot saved by Svedberg. He has run over in front. Hayes tosses it back into the goal crease. Lucic there. Svedberg trying to untangle himself, and Seidenberg absolutely crushes Foss, and Svedberg gives him a chop in the back of the head. I don't know if the referee saw any of that, but it got really nasty around the Boston goal. Tanner Glass over the line, the short backhand pass. Moore from below the dot. Shepard swings and misses. Kelly off the boards to Chara. Back to Kelly with Talbot going ahead. Talbot closes. The shot off McDonough's stick rattles around, and Dominic Moore tries to go end to end here. Up and down the ice. The Rangers looking to trade chance for chance, if that's what it's going to take to get him back in the game. Girardi hammers it intentionally wide. Moore takes the fluttering puck. Trotman tries to limit his space. Moore shields the puck, chops it past Glass. Chara unopposed carries it out to the left corner and then twirls it around for Trotman. The dart back to Chara redirects it, but it's only to Girardi. Girardi gets the puck deep, and it's a delayed offside called on the Rangers with 8:42 to go in the second period. Short break. Berkshire Bank exciting rewind coming up next. Brick takes a closer look at Milan Lucic's day.
A short pass from Spooner as he gets up ice. A nice little exchange in center ice, and Milan Lucic, the beneficiary, times it beautifully down the left wing with good delay. Takes a perfect pass from Krug. Off Krug's backhand and in stride. He continues to attack and snaps it right through Lundqvist's leg for his second of the period.
Torrey Krug, 4 points in his last 5 games on a goal and 3 assists, including this afternoon's game.
That last look, too, with Lucic attacking the net, head and eyes up. He knew exactly where he wanted to shoot that puck. I mean, it was a beanbag 5-hole with a lot on it.
Can of corn for Henrik Lundqvist. Now Lundqvist has got to get the rust off sometime, and it was a little bit trial by fire in the first period. The Rangers pretty sloppy with the puck in their own end of the ice, uncharacteristically so, not making life easy for the returning Lundqvist.
Yeah, and assuming that the President's Trophy would be a nice feather in your cap, but I'm not sure it's a driving force for the Rangers this afternoon. This is all about trying to get Lundqvist ready, so no matter what the score looks like, expect him to play the entire game.
Yeah. And considering that in 13 full seasons played in the 2000s, here's Eriksson with a chance. In 13 full seasons played in the 2000s, only the 02 Red Wings and the 08 Red Wings won both the President's Trophy and the Stanley Cup. The 13 Blackhawks did it too in an abbreviated regular season. But what's most important is to get in, and the Rangers are in for the 5th straight year and 9th out of 10. If you weren't with us at the beginning of the second period, Tuukka Rask beckoned the referee over 10 seconds into the period and then went down the tunnel to the Bruins dressing room. Has not returned. Nicholas Svedberg has been in there. Matt Hunwick's one-timer, and Svedberg makes the save. Let's go back and look at David Krejci playing Tom Brady.
I absolutely love this. I mean, he knows exactly what he wants to do. He's got his head up. He's surveying what's happening in front of him. He's got the pair of range of defensemen he's got to contend with. One of them step on actually playing defense as Girardi's up ice. What are my options? I could go off the boards and direct on a backhand and lay it out there. Maybe Marchand can come across and put some pressure on, but that'd be turning the puck over. Maybe I'd try to beat a guy one-on-one, but that's not going to happen.
Patrice Bergeron with Brad Marchand. The swivel shot from Bergeron and a save by Lundqvist. Trotman uses the skate to keep it in the attacking zone. Rifles a wrist shot off the back glass. Krejci tries to twist it to Bergeron. Now Rick Nash feathers the backhand to Matt Hunwick, taking the middle of the ice. Bergeron gets back to knock down the centering pass and then take away Nash's return. Krejci turns over the line to Bergeron. He dinks. Can't beat Lundqvist on the glove side. Marchand on the rebound. Lundqvist the leg save. Trotman follows the puck to the wall up high on Stepan off his chest. Pastrnak to Chara down to the dot. Spooner misfiring, and that's Derek Stepan bringing the puck up and out of the zone. Nash goes cross corner with it. It wobbles into Bartkowski's corner. Bartkowski turns away from Hagelin. Hits the Jets. Actually gets a little separation there, which is amazing. A little bunt forward. Spooner, the hard backhand. Boyle blocks it with Lucic crashing the far post. Good play by Dan Boyle because Lucic was right on the mark before that pass was going to land.
Yeah, it was worth a try by Spooner. Really didn't have anything else.
Spooner with Pasternak on his right. Swivels across the middle of the zone. Drops back to Bartkowski. The shot saved. Lundqvist. Long rebound. Lucic the tap back to Bartkowski. The wrist shot not saved by Lundqvist. And it goes wide. Lucic on the half boards. Bartkowski wraps it cross corner. Spooner slips it past Boyle down to the corner. Lucic past Kevin Hayes. Now it's Pasternak holding on the forehand around Fost's reach. Campbell back to Krug to the middle of the line with Fost in his face. Krug's wrist shot knocked down in front. Kevin Hayes with the block. Krug gloves down the clear. Quick re-entry, but the Bruins are going through the door that's inside the blue line, so it's offside. Riley Smith had just 2 goals in 24 games, and he's on the board. The road ahead brought to you by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. For the Bruins after today, 7 games to go. 2 at home, 5 on the road. Carolina, another one of those weird 5 p.m. Sunday games. We'll have it for you on NESN. Florida's last chance to try to leapfrog the Bruins comes up Tuesday at TD Garden. A whole slew of games coming your way on NESN.
And important that Svedberg pick up for Rask here as far as he's going to go in this hockey game. I guess the expectation is he will finish the game this afternoon. And we've already highlighted the Bruins rolling their 4 lines in 6D, which are important with that 5 o'clock game tomorrow. Carolina just beat Pittsburgh recently 5-2.
Yeah, Carolina hasn't gone on vacation yet. They're going to try to do some damage before they head to the beaches. Seidenberg to Krug. Krug the diagonal. Talbot taps back to Gregory Campbell. Campbell stutter step on Yandel. Finds Kelly there in close support. He tosses back to the blue line, but Krug is changing out in favor of McQuaid, so the puck slides all the way back. McQuaid out of the defensive zone. Campbell gives it to Bartkowski. Bartkowski gains the blue line. Goes around Hunwick. Fires it on Lundqvist. Gets the rebound. And Brassard sprays it out to safety. McQuaid gets it in deep. The Bruins change out with 4.5 to go in the second.
You know, people remember the move on by Maroon on Bartkowski last game against Anaheim, but did a lot of good things, did Bartkowski in that loss in overtime. Skated the puck well. Doesn't seem to be affected by that one-on-one move by Maroon. He's skating the puck well again this afternoon. He's been able to defend because of his skating ability. I mean, that's that effective short little pass with a defenseman activated, and he just blows by people, and he makes a purposeful play to the front of the net. He's looking for a rebound. He gets it. He knows he has support behind him in the middle. A forward will be there to protect for him. Plus, he's got the speed to get back.
We mentioned earlier sequence in the second period when Bartkowski actually got separation, skating stride for stride with Carl Hagelin. You could probably count on one hand the number of times that's happened in this NHL season. Soderberg centering pass. Boyle gets the shaft of the stick down. Here comes JT Miller, and McQuaid uses the radar sweep to take the puck away. Miller backs it away from Riley Smith. He gets a stick on it, gets it low for Zuccarello into Bartkowski on his knees to block the pass because Brassard had an open side. Now it bounces past Stahl. Eriksson in alone. The shot saved by Lundqvist. Off the end boards, Boyle gets possession of the puck, dribbles the backhand forward. Zuccarello gets it as Brassard had tied up Soderberg.
At that point in the hockey game where the Rangers got to start taking chances. They're trying to stand in at the blue line. That led to an opportunity for Eriksson.
Well, we mentioned how the Rangers had come back with a late first period surge when it was 3-0, but after coming out of the first period tied in shots on goal at 14-14, it is 13-4 for the Bruins in the second period as the Rangers have lost a lot of momentum. Kreider over the line, onside, back in front, and Nash tucks in number 40. And there's some momentum for you. The Rangers get on the board with 3:11 to go in the second.
Well, there's a sequence for you. The breakaway chance for Eriksson. Bruins can't extend it to 5-0, and then in transition, you can see Chara trying to jump up in the play. Now he's got to get back. He's pivot. Now a second pivot, but Nash gets separation. Don't underestimate his powerful long stride. That's a well-executed play. Nash with that net drive off that far post. A pass that's able to get through Bergeron. And Nash has Chara beat off that weak side. He's going to backhand it home. Nice little feed by Kreider. And the Rangers got what they need. A little life here at the end of the second.
It looked close, but our tape room, 2nd and none. Took another look and
The
said,
offside?
"Yep, it was onside."
Yeah, pass was in the skates of Kreider right at the blue line.
The Rangers have had one odd man rush in the game. You just saw it. So if the Rangers can get another before intermission, with Svedberg in the goal and Rask still not back to the Boston bench, the Rangers could make a game of it. Now here's a turnover off Trotman's stick. Hayes, Pastrnak gets him off balance. Hagelin swivels the backhand of McDonough. The wrist shot up high on Svedberg. The rebound loose in the slot. Fast can't get the stick on it. He's got Trotman on one side, Lucic on the other. 3-on-2 over the blue line. Spooner can't shove it to Pastrnak. They're trading chance for chance. Here's Stepan. Slings it around as the Rangers change out and get fresh bodies on the ice. Stepan comes off the corner boards. Nash tries to pick the short side high on Svedberg, who deflects it up over the high glass. And McQuaid and Nash end up tangled behind Svedberg's goal.
Don't miss your opportunity to purchase a raffle ticket for a chance to win Zdeno Chara's or Dougie Hamilton's warm-up worn St. Patrick's Day jersey. To purchase your raffle ticket today for just $5, visit BruinsRaffles.org. All proceeds will benefit the Boston Bruins Foundation.
Rick Nash gets his 40th of the year. Dominic Moore his 16th assist. Derek Stepan his 36th assist. And Stepan continues to step on the Bruins. 16th game lifetime against Boston. He now has 11 points on 5 goals and 6 assists.
Oh, that was more than slid it over. I thought it was Kreider.
Well, so far it's Stepan. I thought it was Stepan.
Well, Stepan made the initial of the first.
I thought it was Kreider too.
Yeah, but it had to be 28, I guess, instead of 20.
This comes off Bergeron's skate. Krejci to Bergeron. The Rangers never have done people with astigmatisms any favors with the blue and red drop shadow. McQuaid getting on the back of Boyle and caving him in against the boards.
I think it might have been Yandel.
Oh, you Yandel, my mistake.
Yeah, it's a puck left for grabs, so it's not going to be interference. Both players going for the puck, so expect body contact, whether you're on the board side or the inner side. There's going to be contact.
Faceoff's going to be outside the Rangers' attacking zone. 1:37 to go in the second.
The implication is, Jack, that it's not interference. Two guys going for the puck. Both expect the body contact. Now, if that puck's a further distance away from, say, Yandel, now you're talking interference.
Campbell, Kelly, and Talbot. The line for Claude Julien's Bruins. Dominic Moore spins the face-off back. Girardi to the middle of the line. Tanner Glass guns it off the end boards, goes after it. Svedberg got the paddle down to whack it back to the corner. Shepard missing wide. Girardi barrels into Kelly. The puck comes loose. Dominic Moore rattles it off Campbell's legs. Seidenberg takes the hit from Shepard. Glass lifts Kelly's stick. Moore takes the puck in the corner off Seidenberg's blade. Goes to the dot and Kelly picks it up. Chris Kelly up to the red line. Bounces it off the boards. Lundqvist plays the puck past Talbot in the final minute of the second period. Glass bounces it past Adam McQuaid and it comes out to center. Milan Lucic with the first 2 goals of the game. The first one coming off his foot that was initially ruled kicked in and no goal. Overruled by the Situation Room at NHL viewing headquarters in Toronto. Soderberg got one before the end of the first. Louis Eriksson about 6 minutes into the second period before Rick Nash answered with his 40th of the season. Riley Smith off Girardi's stick up and out of play. Let's go back to the 3-0 first period.
Tough way to lose the last game against Anaheim in overtime after a great penalty kill, but the Bruins come out quick, fast, accurate, purposeful. And they got a 3-0 lead in the first period. Started with the Lucic off the skating in after a good shot from the point. Followed up by Lucic on a great play. The full length of the ice. Breakout, neutral zone speed, activated Krug on defense. And then the third goal, the nice turnover forced by Soderberg on Yandle, and a good finish.
Smith steals the puck from Miller. Riley Smith past Louis Eriksson. Now Matt Hunwick with Soderberg in his face. Hunwick gets the puck forward to JT Miller. The long diagonal for Zuccarello. Takes it on the backhand. Zuccarello at the hash marks. Fires it into Chara's body in the final 5 seconds of the period. Chara just manages the time by hurling the puck out of the zone. And the Bruins will trudge down the tunnel without Tuukka Rask, but up by 3.
And that's a concern, obviously. You don't know what's going on with Tuukka Rask. You're going to really lean on him down the stretch to try to secure a playoff spot. Svedberg, you got to be sharp. You got to be ready. You got to be prepared. You never know when a situation like this might arise. He stepped in, played pretty well.
A boisterous and happy crowd on hand. Patrice Bergeron having another one of those days of the faceoff dot. He's 17-6. As a team, the Bruins are at 63% against the Rangers. And Brick, when you play well 5-on-5, when you're winning the draw, when you have possession, you're taking care of the puck and following through on your checks, you tend to do well. The Rangers are the best 5-on-5 team in the National Hockey League, coming into today at plus 44 in terms of 5-on-5 goal differential. Svedberg makes the save on Boyle's deflected shot, but the Bruins are plus 3 against the Rangers 5-on-5 today. Boyle, the defenseman, forward of the goal line as the Rangers pull out all the stops to try to get back within 2 early in the third. Kevin Hayes around the top of the zone behind JT Miller. Miller protects the puck from Dennis Seidenberg, and the Rangers mount some attacking zone time right off the drop here in the third. Carl Hagelin in front. Seidenberg down on one knee, blocks the pass intended for Hayes. Pasternak skates it out of the Boston zone, moves around Fost, has to wheel short of the red line. Spooner all the way in on Lundqvist, and the Bruins will change out. New York gets fresh legs on the ice as well. Dan Boyle, the last remaining player from that shift, and he's going to have to stay out there as his slap pass out of the D zone goes for icing.
Well, I think it's a lot, Jack, to follow up on your comments at the start of the period. Pretty much what Torrey Krug was telling. What's that guy's name down there? Jamison Coyle, yeah.
Exactly. You were almost slipping into your Karen Austin there.
That new guy down there. Yeah. I guess he's coming to Carolina, too.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, if the Bruins keep playing like this, Wally Pipp.
No, but like Torrey Krug says, don't change a thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's simple, and it's to the point, it's accurate.
Yeah, the Bruins have taken what the Rangers have given them, but part of what has the Rangers playing not their best game is the way Boston is playing. There are 2 teams out there playing, and yeah, certainly Lundqvist, a lot of rust, but the Rangers not taking care of the puck in the defensive zone in the first period, and the Bruins made them pay the price for it. McDonough north and south. Stepan redirects it to the end boards, dropping back after it. Stepan picks it up in the corner, looks for Kreider, finds McDonough top of the circle. Riley Smith blocks that, and it comes all the way back to the Rangers line.
Yeah, good block by Smith. Trotman's got to make a better play there. He's certainly capable of it.
By the way, eyes like a hawk. It was Kreider on the assist, not Stepan. It was wrong electronically. We thought it was Kreider going over the line onside. Bergeron with the block, gets the puck to the red line, can't get the diagonal pass to connect with Krejci. Nash, who has his 40th of the season this afternoon, gives back into the defensive zone. Zuccarello quickly to the puck, rescues it because Bergeron was swooping down from the high slot. Matt Bartkowski flattens it in the Boston end with Nash in his grill. Past Zuccarello's touch. Marchand to Krejci, gets tipped over on Hunwick's check. Hunwick had the leverage. Now Hunwick punches the puck back to the neutral zone. Krejci ahead for Marchand. Zuccarello pins in Marchand.
That was pretty high by Marchand on Zuccarello, wasn't it?
And Marchand also chicken wings on Brassard. And the lips are fluttering as the players go back into the bench door.
They're both about the same size, so it's easy to get high right there if you Marchand on Zuccarello, but no penalty.
You know, some of the best bouts are between lightweights. The little guys can really throw fast. Tanner Glass in a collision with Gregory Campbell, but here comes James Sheppard past the hash marks, swoops around, gets it in the centrifuge. Glass's wrist shot bounces down off the block. Gregory Campbell reverses it. It skitters through the corner. And Chris Kelly just clears it out. It's going to be icing against the Bruins. 3.5 into the third. The Bruins not making a lot of plays out of their own end.
The Boston Bruins and Pro Ambitions have teamed up to host the first ever Boston Bruins April Vacation Minicamp, taking place at Phillips Academy's Harrison Rink in Andover, Massachusetts from April 21st to the 23rd. Don't miss your chance to register your youth hockey player today. To learn more, visit bostonbruins.com/youth hockey.
Miller and Campbell on the face-off to the left of Nicholas Svedberg. Torrey Krug flicks the puck forward. Kelly can't control. Mark Stahl walks in, gets Seidenberg to turn, fires it on Svedberg, and it pops in and out and back into the trapper.
Yeah, pretty nice pass by Dan Boyle at that right point. The Bruins had a stick in the passing lane, but he's able to get it across to his partner Stahl. Stahl with a fake shot to get Seidenberg out of the lane. But Svedberg does enough to find a good look at that shot from Stahl to handle it with the glove.
Not that the Bruins have had monstrous leads all season long, but when they have, and it's been late in the game, we've heard Brick many times say the Bruins have to execute with good habits and keep making the conscientious plays. And here's some mishandling of the puck in the defensive zone. The Rangers have had it in the Boston end for virtually the entire early third period. Centering pass. Miller can't get there as Bergeron was clamped on it. Spooner off glass, gets the puck in deep. Lundqvist plays it away from Lucic right at the edge of the trapezoid. It's off glass and into the protective netting. So the face-off in the Rangers zone.
Giving some props to Matt Bartkowski today. This is a set play, left side of your screen. Spooner, who's not taking the draw, he's a left wing. He's taking off. He's flying the zone. Bartkowski's got to use that net as his ally, swing around that net, make an early decision. I'm going hard off the boards indirect. It's a set play that needs to be executed. You turn the puck over there, now you're absent one player in the defensive zone, and you have Lucic, who's the acting centerman. He's taking off through the middle of the defensive zone. Can't turn the puck over there. And Jack, right on cue, you got to make plays.
Looked as if Bergeron got away with a world-class hook there. He disguised it pretty well because he was body on body, but he had a lot of leverage on that stick.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen that call. We've seen hooks in overtime called for less.
Haven't we? Well, that looked like the magic wand of the magician I was talking about in the pregame, didn't it? Eriksson, the scoop to Soderberg, and he couldn't make contact. Fires it off of the leg pad of Lundqvist from forward to the goal line. Now Glass comes cross ice. Chris Kreider swoops into the attacking zone, gives the step on. The shot handcuffs Svedberg. Heard something click. I don't know if it was the paddle of the stick or caught the bottom of the mask.
Yeah, too many black jerseys back to allow that shot to even be getting taken by Stepan.
Yeah, the Bruins got to ignore the scoreboard and bring some of the effort they had in the front 40 minutes of this game. The Rangers owning the puck and frequently in the Boston zone. Here's Broussard, the juicy rebound off of Svedberg. McDonough can't tuck it past as Zuccarello was screening Svedberg.
That's another breakdown in the neutral zone. That pass you knew was going to Broussard before it even happened.
Krejci takes the errant pass, gives to Marchand, gets back on the rockers of the skates and can't make the move. Bergeron guns it toward the front. Girardi blocks it before the puck gets to Lundqvist. Here's Rick Nash. Nash off of Bergeron's stick. Zuccarello deflects it along the attacking line. Seidenberg in the corner against Broussard, who gives him a pretty good bump. Nash stabs it. Campbell shields the puck. Nash gets a piece. Marchand clears it out, and the Bruins will get fresh legs.
Yeah, Mo Marchand and Zuccarello, too, away from the play. Not that far away from the play. It was right on the backside of Seidenberg.
Chara hammers it around through the corner. Boyle diagonally through the attacking zone. A couple of 38-year-old defensemen on the ice right now, Chara and Boyle. Dominic Moore, Hobbit man, gets spun around at the hash marks. James Shepard gives it to Glass, a Dartmouth boy. Equal time. McQuaid tied up with Dominic Moore, and they'll let him keep on going. Boyle tosses ahead to Moore, swivels it diagonally, or rather laterally, to Stahl. Goes forehand, backhand to Boyle. Boyle into the slot to Miller. He wheels and fires it wide of Svedberg. Seidenberg might have gotten a piece of that.
Yeah, not making plays and not getting it deep. You saw what you did with your forecheck through 2 periods. Get back to it.
Zach Trotman with a blast and a blocker stopped by Lundqvist. The puck sailing probably wide anyway. Hagelin can't get the puck out of the defensive zone. Spooner back to Krug in neutral ice. Keith Yandle, the ex-Coyote, around the boards. Fast past Hunwick to Hayes. The Rangers are offside with 13:03 to go. 4-1 Bruins. Who would have predicted that? Well, the biggest concern right now, not that the Bruins have too many, leading by 3 with 13 minutes to go, is the status of Tuukka Rask, who left 10 seconds into the second period. Keith Yandle up to the attacking line. Torrey Krug stabs the puck loose. Matt Hunwick off of Krug's body. Step on the receiving end of Krug's hit, but he gets the puck around the rim. Kreider touches back to Yandle. The wrist shot. Svedberg never saw it as Fast was moving laterally across the field of vision of the goalie. Eriksson jamming along the boards. Fast is there. He bounces it ahead. Seidenberg along with Soderberg, the only two Bruins to play in every game this season, clears it around and out.
And you don't want it to take a Ranger goal to get to the Bruins to try to make a few more plays coming out of their own zone right now. It's a comfortable 3-goal lead, but you can't be conserving energy right now thinking you got to play at 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Chara feeds Bergeron 3-on-3 over the line. Good back pressure by Nash disrupts Bergeron's pass. Now Chara pulls it away from Zuccarello. Big man against small man. Chara wobbles it up the boards to Krejci to Bergeron. Cross corner looking for Marchand. They go shoulder to shoulder. Girardi and Marchand. Now it's Chara at the blue line. Rips it intentionally wide. Krejci going after it. Girardi chops it through the corner. Marchand looking for Bergeron middle, but McDonough gets a piece of that pass. Nash kills it on the boards and it sits for Bergeron. Marchand draws it back, rifles it, and it hits glass. Marchand, clever move in a tight space, finds Bergeron now. Bergeron's shot, and Lundqvist makes the save. No surprise that the Bergeron line is out there, and the Bruins have their easily best shift of the third period.
And you can't take the replay so far back that we could show you the breakout. We talk about making plays. They broke the puck out the way you're supposed to, and now they get the puck deep, and they get a good forecheck going, a nice rotation in the offensive zone. They force the Rangers, if they don't have a play, to just chip it back to Boston, and then they win some battles. A couple of real good plays by Marchand to spin off checks to find teammates open. The last one went to Bergeron with a pretty good wrist shot inside the dot.
Yeah, the breakout Chara to Bergeron to get the puck out of the zone. And you know, Chara does not talk about the PCL tear. He does not talk about any injury that he has or has had, because that is his nature. But it seems that he's figuring it out now. Glass goes across the crease. Boyle can't keep possession of the puck. Campbell starts a 3-on-2 off ice by getting it to Kelly, but he runs out of room. Glass, a good back check. Dominic Moore, the blind backhand pass, right tape to tape on Glass's stick, but then he turns it over to Talbot, who just spoons it out to center. The puck wiggles all the way to the end wall. Bartkowski snatches it off the kick plate. Glass steers him to the boards, and he runs out of space. Spooner gives to McQuaid. 10.5 to go in the game. McQuaid right past Zuccarello's stick. Pastrnak battling Hunwick. Pastrnak hits the brakes and loses Hunwick. Cross ice, Lucic gives back to Chara. Chara has room to walk into one. The rocket, and Pasternak's helmet comes off in the collision in front as Nash was trying to clear him out. Yandle, the cutback at the line to Brassard. Chara with the huge reach. Riley Smith tosses the puck off the wall and out. Approaching the midpoint of the third period, Mats Zuccarello. We have some Norwegian followers who are correcting our pronunciation. Thank you. Brassard into the middle. Trotman bunts it to the wall. Girardi down to the corner. Brassard spins for Zuccarello. So it's Mutz and Zach instead of Mutz and Jeff. Brassard, no angle, tries the high corner near side, and Svedberg holds the post. Zuccarello gets a face full of a Trotman blast with the stick and can't nudge it past Svedberg. 9:39 to go in the game. The Bruins riding a 4-1 lead against the New York Rangers. Replays of 3 plays brought to you by your New England Audi dealers.
Yeah, and it starts with the Milan Lucic goal, the net drive off the skate and in. There was some controversy whether that was a good goal or not. It was. The original call was no goal on the ice. Then Lucic followed up with certainly a legit on a great play from end to end by the Spooner line. The steal by Soderberg, that extended the lead to 3, all in the first period. What a start to the hockey game for Boston. Hard to believe they lost in the fashion that they did to Anaheim to come out with that kind of energy.
Desperation may have been a factor in helping them get motivated.
That and the fact that they thought they played a pretty good game.
Yep.
And build off.
Krug one-hands it forward into the neutral zone. Girardi goes for a tumble going through his teammate Fast. Seidenberg on a bouncing puck takes a couple of whacks at it. Bergeron rescues it and backhands it through the corner. Marchand jumped up to bang into Girardi. McDonough tries to feed it into the front. Bergeron blocks that. McDonough tries again right parallel to the goal line. Girardi's blast saved by Svedberg. Marchand clears. And the faceoff's going to come back down to the Boston zone as the Rangers are spending almost the entire third period in the Boston end of the ice.
Yeah, a bit of a rope-a-dope here in the third period by Boston, and not to just keep pounding away at what you're looking for, and that is playmaking coming out of your own zone. The Bruins have done it on a couple of occasions. They've had good offensive zone time, but just not consistently enough. But Svedberg's been sharp.
Now Svedberg's issue in this his first full NHL season has been his inability to put rebounds. This is deflected off a stick and over the glass, and it's a Rangers stick that caused the puck to go out, so the faceoff will come outside the attacking zone. But getting back to Svedberg, his ability to control rebounds and aim them to less dangerous parts of the ice, but he's done a pretty good job at not even giving up rebounds and following the puck pretty well this afternoon.
Yeah, that's one aspect of becoming an NHL goaltender and a backup goaltender number 2, whatever you want to call it. The other is, the lack of playing time that you got to get used to, and that's a major adjustment when you've been the go-to guy at the American Hockey League level, where you're going to play a bunch of games and you're going to be in the lineup. They play Friday, Saturday, Sunday a ton in the American League. You're going to get 2 out of 3 most nights. Some weekends 1 out of 3, whatever it might be, but you're a regular guy that's counted on. And it's those reps that really keep you sharp. But no, not at the NHL level when you're the backup goaltender. It's about practice habits, about getting your work in, it's about video, and it's about being ready. And this is a classic example of being ready. Afternoon game. I'm sure he had no inkling that he'd play in this afternoon's game, Jeff.
Since the 10th of February, this is only the 5th appearance for Svedberg. Hagelin tries to wrap around. The Bruins get numbers in front to prevent Hunwick from getting a rebound. Lucic muscles it out to the red line, goes right through Hagelin's check. Lucic all the way to the corner. Centering attempt goes off Yandel's stick. Now Pastrnak. Yandel without the stick. Checks Pastrnak. Bartkowski will go back to retrieve. Shots on goal 30-29 in favor of Boston. Boyle back in the corner. Kelly gives him a bump. Stahl the diagonal to Dominic Moore, sprinting up the left wing against Seidenberg. Seidenberg puts the hip into him. They both go down. Shepard and Talbot now wrestle in the corner. Shepard tries to wiggle the puck through on the kick plate. Seidenberg getting underneath Moore. That's a pretty good wrestling match there. And on they go now. They do more than just wrestle. They joust a couple of times. Seidenberg just drilled Moore right in front. Moore comes back. Seidenberg locks him up as Moore turned and just looked for any black jersey, and it happened to be Kelly. Now both of those guys with bees under their bonnets. That was an extended wrestling, jousting, and then cross-checking match.
You love to see this kind of hockey from the Boston Bruins number 1, but then it's Seidenberg number 2. Good hard hockey between 2 players. I would expect both of them to get penalties. I expect them to be matching. The referees have really let them be men here this afternoon. When the battles have been there, and we've seen it, whether it was Zuccarello and Marchand, or in that case right there, Seidenberg, Moore. A lot on the line for the Boston Bruins, obviously, understatement. But when you see that kind of intensity, we saw it against Anaheim. We're seeing it again here this afternoon. And it looks like we're going to play a little 4-on-4.
Rangers have the 5th best 4-on-4 goal differential in the NHL. They're +4 on the season. Bruins are tied for 9th overall 4-on-4 at +2. But that includes an overtime goal differential of +3. So do the math. And, when they're playing in the standard 2 forwards, 2 defensemen version of 4-on-4, as opposed to the 3 forwards, 1 defenseman, which Claude Julien often plays, in fact almost exclusively plays in overtimes. The Bruins are actually on the minus side of the goal differential.
Yeah, overtime you play to win. You don't want to get to the shootouts, given the Bruins' record there and their inefficient numbers in terms of finishing those shootout opportunities. But in a situation where you're up by 3 in the 3rd period, yeah, understand you go with 2D.
Mats Zuccarello, Derek Brassard, Ryan McDonagh trying to back in with the puck, and Louis Eriksson almost pulled it free. McDonagh reaches up to the face. I think he took a stick on a follow through or somebody going after the puck. And on they go. Plenty of dents and dings for both of these teams today. And they've let him play for the most part. Soderberg pokes the puck away from McDonagh, comes back to center. Less than a minute to go in the 4-on-4. Zuccarello slides the puck back to Kevin Hayes. Hunwick races up the right side, leaves it back for Nash. Nash's snapshot deflects down off Riley Smith. Hunwick on the pivot move right in front of the Zamboni doors. Smith jamming with Hunwick. Hunwick goes down, gets up, wins the puck, brings it back to Yandel, fakes the shot, takes the shot. Svedberg cuddles it against his chest with 5:52 to go in the game. Boston 4, the Rangers 1. The Bruins hoping to leapfrog Ottawa and back into the playoff structure. The game report brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. Rick Nash has his 40th goal this season, 3rd time he's hit that plateau in his career, but the goal came after Boston had built a 4-0 lead. 2 goals from Milan Lucic after he had scored just 1 in his previous 11 games. A goal for Riley Smith, who had just 2 in his previous 24. A goal for Carl Soderberg, who had just 1 in his previous 28. So a lot of the Bruins who had gone cold heating up against Henrik Lundqvist this afternoon. Patrice Bergeron's shot goes off Dan Boyle's stick, up and out of play. By the way, Bergeron has extended his consecutive games point streak to 5 in a row, now with 2 goals and 3 assists, getting an assist this afternoon.
And one of the things you like about that, if you're the Rangers and you're game planning for Boston, not saying that that's, you know, their main focus.
It could be a 1-8 matchup.
But the point being that, you know, you game plan for Boston. All right, what forward line do we want to shut down? You got Bergeron between Krejci and Marchand. That's the line they want to attack. They want to shut that line down as best they can. So what do the Bruins want? They want production somewhere else if that line's just going to break even. Well, 2 goals from Lucic, Smith, Soderberg, guys that you want to score. I mean, that's what you're looking for.
Shepard wants a piece of Bartkowski after Bartkowski's big hit on Brassard, and here we go. Here we go. Bartkowski pins him to the wall, hits him with the right, gets the hat off. Brassard tries to counter. Oh, Brassard with a scoring right. Sorry, it's Shepard, and Shepard gets the takedown. Pretty spirited battle. Good defense of a teammate by James Shepard and a good response by Matt Bartkowski.
There was no penalty on the hit by Bartkowski, and that's why Shepard wanted to settle the score. They felt, the guys on the ice, the Rangers that is, that this was a hit from behind. Glass knows the hit's coming.
Oh, Glass. My fault. Sorry.
Glass takes the hit. And he put himself in a position saying, hey, you can't hit me because I'm going to turn my back to you. And he did it early enough that Bartkowski probably should have just went in with a little bear hug, but he doesn't. So that's why Shepard comes over and the gloves come off. But Bartkowski does what he should do, and that's respond. There's the hit from behind. Certainly worthy of a penalty from where I'm sitting, Jack.
Yep. That looks like
Glass is a pretty tough kid.
Absolutely.
So Bartkowski answers for the hit that was not going to be a penalty, unless the referees get together and say, hey, you know what, we probably should have called that.
Don't go there.
I'm just kidding.
Boy, if you missed the instigators, too bad, because that was a good rant. You know, James Shepard, long strange trip, right? Because Minnesota took him 9th overall in 2006. He ends up getting traded to San Jose for a 3rd rounder, ends up getting traded to the Rangers for a 4th rounder. If you're following the pattern there, that's not exactly upward progress, but Shepard,
it's like buying a brand new car.
There's some depreciation there, but Shepard is finding a way to contribute to the Rangers here, and he did the right thing.
Yeah, the Rangers obviously have a ton of guys that they rely on for a number of different things as far as their offense is concerned in their core group. At the deadline, they try to go get a role player, a depth guy, and a guy that's affordable because you know how high the prices were this March.
Hey, look at that non-call where it looked as if Bartkowski boarded. Here's Spooner taking an errant pass, swirling away. Yandel blows an edge. Spooner throws it in front of Yandel. Oh, Gilt's a powerful motivator. He taps it away. Hagelin skies one. He got a little too much leverage on that puck, and it goes into the protective netting. You know, the Rangers, when they were playing Anaheim just before the Anaheim Ducks worked their way through to Boston, there was an incident where Patrick Maroon hit Girardi, and Maroon goes off for boarding even though Girardi never even made contact with the boards. And then Hunwick doesn't get a boarding call for blasting into glass there. Rangers fans got to be scratching their heads saying what is and what isn't boarding anymore.
Yeah, Bartkowski.
Yeah, did I say? Jeez. Yeah. Bartkowski. Thanks. I need a 7-second delay. That's what I get for sniffing spray glue, right? I'm kidding, folks. Seidenberg slings it around. Soderberg redirects, and that is a billiard shot. No icing.
Does that count as a shot on goal?
It certainly should. Because if Lundqvist isn't there, that's it. Seidenberg off the boards. Riley Smith can't pry it past McDonough. They didn't give him a shot on goal. Kreider all the way to the line. Girardi spins it down the boards. Girardi gathers up the puck, flicks it forward. Stepan gets through traffic. Girardi tosses the puck to space. McDonough back to pick up the puck. Beginning the day, there were 6 teams within 2 points of one another at the top of the league standing. The Rangers would love to win the President's Trophy. It's not the most urgent thing, especially when you consider how much they want to get Henrik Lundqvist completely up to form in the last 9 games of the season.
Yeah, and you can't lose Talbot either, the guy that's played so well in Lundqvist's absence, because if Lundqvist can't find his game because of the time missed, and that's worst case scenario, Talbot's got to be sharp. He's been real sharp. I know, but you don't want him taking off too much time.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, you don't want to play Lundqvist every game. You don't want to play him 7 out of 8 because that's too much time for Talbot to be sitting around. So it's a bit of a problem.
Yep. Nash scooting around the edge of the circle. Zuccarello trying to feed it right back to him. That would have been a clever give and go. Campbell flips the puck off Zuccarello's stick, and it goes all the way down to the Rangers zone. Dan Boyle with Kelly giving him a pretty good whack. Boyle off the boards at the red line. Chara slings it off the corner glass. It bounces down. Kelly and Stahl. Here's centering pass. Hops over Talbot's stick, who's still looking for his first goal as a Bruin. Mutz Zuccarello over the line. Nash gets sandwiched off by Trotman and Chara. Nash returns to Zuccarello looking for Brassard. He hammers it off glass. Brassard and Kelly go to the corner. Brassard forward. Chara uses position to hold off Nash. Boyle wiggles it forward. Nash can't get through Chara to handle the puck cleanly. Pastrnak saw the hit from, Trotman saw the hit from Zuccarello coming. 2.5 to go in the game. Boyle from his own blue line. JT Miller. Smith clamps down on it. McQuaid takes it away from Dominic Moore. Tanner Glass steps right through Smith's stick. Separates him from the puck. Torrey Krug hard off Glass. Off the glove of Yandel. Marchand takes the hit from Yandel. Goes laterally for Krug. He wraps it around through both corners. Miller reverses. Hunwick keeps the puck moving. Glass off of Krug's legs. It bounces back to Hunwick with 2 minutes to go. Bruins came into this game having gone 6 consecutive games without a win. And they had not had a longer streak since going 10 straight without a win from the 16th of January through the 6th of February 2010. Boston is going to improve to 5-0-3 in its last 8 home games. And the Bruins only have a couple left here at TD Garden this regular season. And if it so happens that the Bruins end up matched with the Rangers, and inform Henrik Lundqvist or not, Boston will carry a 7-1-2 record in its last 10 meetings into such a playoff meeting. So as great as Lundqvist is, and he is a truly great goalie, the mystique doesn't really exist for Boston. The Bruins feel that they can play the Rangers at least even, despite the great discrepancy between the two teams this regular season.
Yeah, you go back before this losing streak started for Boston, and you felt with the real good push that they had in this stretch of games where they played a ton in a short period of time, but they got off to a good start. Were they 5-2-2 in a 9-game stretch when they were going to play 11 in 18 days or whatever it was? That being said, you start saying, well, okay, you assume the Bruins are going to make the playoffs. You start talking about matchups and favorable matchups and possibilities. I mean, there's only a handful of teams that would be a possibility the Bruins would play. And when you talk about the Rangers, yeah, why not?
David Pastrnak flies forward against Keith Yandle, loses an edge as Yandle gives him a pretty healthy whack. We're here in the final minute. Tanner Glass drawing it wide against Torrey Krug. Glass centering pass to JT Miller to Dominic Moore. The wraparound. Svedberg goes right to left to make the block, and there's a pile up at the post. And McQuaid gives Glass a pretty good shove.
Yeah, one of those discussions right there between Glass and McQuaid, like there's no reason for it right now. I mean, this game's over.
Save it. Yep.
Exactly.
So Bruins fans are in that position that the audience is in during Peter Pan when you think good thoughts for Tinkerbell, because Toronto, which barely has a flicker of light left in it, is hosting Ottawa tonight. And with this result, the Bruins will vault back into the lower of 2 wild card slots. Now, by the way, only 3 points behind Washington, which lost to Nashville today 4-3. But the Bruins will be 2 points ahead of Ottawa. Ottawa still has a game in hand going into today, so we'll have 2 games in hand going into the Toronto game tonight.
What's your favorite category in Jeopardy? Children's Lit?
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Okay.
Well, that's where I topped out. That was it. You know, Tip and Mitten. JT Miller. Hey, think about my target audience here. There's a drive and a score from Hunwick. Might have been tipped on the way through, but it gets past Svedberg with 22 seconds to go, and Rangers fans have something to yell about.
I'd pull Svedberg right now and put that new guy in.
Bob Essensa. Bob Essensa, who hasn't played since he was with the Winnipeg Jets. Holy smoke. The goalie consultant for the Bruins is in uniform. I guess that prevents the Bruins from being fined for not having somebody available,
yeah,
right?
I'm not sure what the penalty is, but you're supposed to have a backup goaltender dressed and either on the bench or a close proximity to the bench. So he got there eventually.
He's got FaceTime.
One more chapter.
Bruins 4-0-1 in their last 5 against the Rangers, including this result this afternoon. JT Miller flies up the left wing on Adam McQuaid, turns the goal, turns and throws it in front for Yandle with 2 seconds to go. The Bruins have broken their 6-game losing streak, and Glass gets one up on McQuaid. Maybe now's the time.
That was the body contact by Yandle with Campbell, and then Glass comes right over. So, of course, McQuaid's going to get there, and Glass got looked like his right hand and stick up in the face of McQuaid with a butt end. You can see what McQuaid's telling the referee. Looked like he got the right hand and the butt end up in the face, and if that's the case, then we got issues, and Glass has got issues. See if we get a real good look at it. Wade comes over. There's the body contact. There's the follow-up. Exactly.
That's not good visuals, folks, and the NHL's safety division is going to have a look at that.
Absolutely. Great performance by Boston today, Jack. Little tip of the cap to Nicholas Svedberg, who had to come in relief early in the second period of Tuukka Rask, but the Bruins comfortably ahead at that point, 3-0, because of an explosive first period. Guys you were looking for to find the back of the net.